on me, I'm out front. I know you sick of playing these games, I'm about done. I could turn this shit up a couple of thousand.
So I hit record on this video. I recorded the whole video in slow-mo, like 19 minutes of the video, and it would just be a process for me to go back and change it. So I'm just gonna record another one, go off the cuff again, and just get into it. I honestly feel better than when I started the previous video. Like, I was in such a lower mood, but I was basically speaking about how this week's been like a little bit harder, and I've been feeling way more, not way more, like the past 2 days, just knowing that I need to do something, and then just like intentionally avoiding that by thinking I'm being productive in another area, but it's like I'm not actually being productive in that area. I'm just watching a self-development video or a skill video on how to do the specific task, but it's like if I'm not implementing that task in that moment, like why am I watching that video? Like, I'm just trying to feel like I'm being busy, and I'm like, that's not productive at the end of the day. Like, that's not moving me forward and moving the needle forward at all. So I said how I noticed that, and it's like, I love this because it's like just weekly check-ins of my emotions, and it just shows you, if you watch the other videos, like the range of humanity and the range of emotions that anyone goes through can be a wave. There are people that are more I don't even know, because it's like, you're like, each person you meet, like, you might think that they're a certain way in private, but you don't know what demons that person has, what they're thinking on the day to day. And even if it's your spouse, like whoever it is, and you feel like you know this person from like A to Z, you're not in their heads, and you don't know what demons that they have, and just the way that like people feel things different, and the way that someone can describe like what love is to them, and what being in love is, and all these different things. It's just interesting. So don't make assumptions. Moral of that story. But going back to like what I was speaking about in the other video that got deleted, because I'm not posting that. But I've been reading this book, Ego's the Enemy, and it speaks about the one chapter. Felt like it was speaking directly to me, and it was basically saying, don't be passionate. Like, a lot of passion is for amateurs. Like, meaning passionate people, or people that describe that they're passionate about this thing, they'll speak about like all the things in detail, their plan of how they're going to do this thing from A to Z. Like, when this happens, they're going to do this thing, and after that they're going to pivot there and like do this, and then they're going to do this. And it felt like it was directly speaking to me, just like shitting on me. Like, it felt like a stab to the chest, like, wake up, motherfucker. Like, but even reading those pages, and the author knows that most people are like that. There's someone that you know that is exactly like that. Maybe you're like that too. And it's been just a shock to my ego, genuinely, because a part of me is like, even these videos, is it me avoiding like my actual business stuff, like saying, don't get me wrong, like, this stuff is like, me creating these videos, so fucking therapeutic, and I love like being creative, but even with this, it's like I haven't really dedicated the time into creating the vlogs like I wanted to. So many other videos that I said I was going to produce, and said I was going to do this. So it's like, again, like looking back and doing it, and then it's like, boom, like, look at my results, like, look what I've actually produced. Because it's just a shitty feeling when you don't have like a lot of things to show for the efforts that you're doing. But it's like, it's that balance, like being graceful with myself, because this week's been busy as hell with campaigns, and just hit like another milestone where I created a Google search ads fully by myself. And had like a little bit of help, a little bit of questions that I like needed, but other than that, like A to Z, like pretty much did it by myself, and it's just such a good feeling to know that I was able to do that. And how can we level up and how can we get better, and actually start implementing. I think it's knowing that I don't have to be in the right mood to implement. Like, I don't have to feel good to meditate. I think it's way more important doing the things when I don't feel like doing them and just getting through them in that way, especially like meditation, because it's so pivotal, like, for my health. I slept, like, I didn't meditate today too, and I just like feel out of balance in a way, and I don't feel present. I don't feel like I'm like here. I feel like there's so many things going on of like, oh, I need to do this. I'm gonna do this later. I'm gonna go out later. I'm gonna do this. Like, my mind's like flowing, and I think when I get into these states, like, I can end up like tuning out like a lot of people, and I don't reach out to people that are like reaching out to me, and taking that time to like reply to those messages of people that genuinely care about me. And it's that balance, like, because I'm not like that like with everyone, but I just notice like I get into that mode where I'm like starting to just like distance myself, because it's that feeling of like I don't feel worthy. So it's like why should I speak to people if I don't feel worthy? If that makes sense to anyone out there. But yeah, it's like feeling worthy, not feeling enough, like all these things. I think ultimately it's just the story you're telling yourself. It's all a story. Like, I'm not saying you don't feel your emotions and you're not going through stuff, but it's like kind of telling yourself another story can be everything, because I'm not a victim. Anyone who's out there isn't a victim. Like, you can create your own reality in that way, and I still truly believe in that. Like, I've seen signs of that. It's like just like noticing where the opportunities are to change, and it's like I'm saying this, but it's like I'm not doing it, and it's just the shittiest feeling, because it's like, how can I preach these things when I'm not doing them? And I'm not being the body of my work. It's frustrating. It's frustrating, because then you just feel like an imposter. But that's why I'm trying to show as much truth as possible, and just so that you guys know that they're like, I don't want to fake it like at all, like fake being happy, like fake feeling a certain type of way, because that in and of itself is draining and frustrating. Even more, I'd rather make it and like have people love me like for who I am than like fake a personality and fake a person that I like wasn't being. And me being authentic, like I might not look cool to certain people, but it's like I'm not trying to like look cool. I'm trying to be me, like just be my, like authentically be myself, like arrogantly be myself. Even like myself, like that. Not that it's forever changing. It's just evolving. Yeah. I feel like I'm going on a tangent. Today was a slower one for sure. If you watch though, I hope you got some value. Hope you see that it's just a journey, and there's gonna be days, weeks that feel like this. Days when you feel buzzing and excited to be alive. I think it was on Tuesday. I just felt so pumped, just so fucking pumped. Just felt like amazing to be alive. I'm like, what a time to be alive. Like, I just kept saying that, what a time to be alive. Even right now, it's like, what a time to be alive. Like, the time is now. Like, we're not gonna get it back. I'm not gonna get this moment back ever again. I'm probably not gonna sit in this bench, have the same type of feeling and outlook ever again. And it's, if you start to view your life like that, like even me saying that, it's like the moments, like it's so fleeting, but it's just a moment. It's a moment, but it's gone. I feel like I'm just talking in circles right now. But guys, peace.